Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today we're going to be recapping episode 57 of Campaign 3 of Critical Role. Hopefully this sounds okay. I'm using the same mic. I'm just using my laptop instead of my computer as I am on vacation, but I'm still going to get this video out for you guys because I have a bunch of free time right now. So, without further ado, let's get the recap started. We start in Malaismere. The party are sneaking around looking for the Gilded Tower. They have passed without a trace up and can talk in their heads. Chetney says that they need to avoid the stag at all costs because that thing seems dangerous. The party recall the stag only attacked after it hears some noises and it has no eyes, so it only relies on its hearing. Chetney suggests having something else make noise as they move. Imogen says that she has a bunch of ball bearings and can use them to make noise way away from them if they move. They set out stealthing toward the largest tower that they can see. They move through the destroyed city, trying to keep quiet as they go. One more thing before I keep going. If you guys hear the sounds of heavy breathing or snoring behind my mic, it's because my dog is sleeping. She had the same 13-hour drive that I did, so she is very exhausted. As they go through the city, they see blue lights in the mist, and they can hear clacking sounds before birds begin to fly off. Frida is leading the party with a 14 survival roll. As they go, they smell the sulfurous rot smell that comes from the ground through the bursts that also come with the black smoke. They're able to avoid it as they see it. They also see more and more of these sort of bursts from the ground with this black sulfurous smoke as they move in towards or deeper toward the city. Frida tries to see where the bursts seem to be coming from. They see the large tower with a few cracks and trees coming out of it. It looks like these ground bursts seem to be emanating from there. It seems to stand out in the city from the destruction. It's a bit more put together than most buildings. They also see old rotted skeleton bodies entangled in the vegetation as they move. As they move, they get the idea of what some parts of the city used to look like in its heyday. They also see the remains of old encampments from looters, researchers, people looking to find out more of the history of this place or trying to find something to make money off. Frida looks at the old encampment. It looks like it's been there for a long time, so it hasn't been used very recently. Chetney uses his hunter's bane and feels ghostly figures walking through the streets right near them. He also sees a twisted aura come from the tree as they walk past it. Deanna looks to see if the spores in the air are coming from these trees. They are coming from the twisted trees that Chetney pointed out earlier that had a sort of twisted aura from it. As she looks at it, she realizes the tree has corpse-like features as if it used to be one once. This is the first tree they've noticed like this. They're now going to keep an eye out for more. The party see they are in a lively or a stable, and they see dead beasts of burden here. Frida casts Decompose on the horse, and it withers away, but as it does, it almost seems to move. The party start talking about how to protect themselves from the spirits around them, but they keep moving instead of talking about it more as they're wasting time. Imogen questions if they destroy parts of the vegetation here, will other pieces of it feel it in other areas, warning these vegetation places. Frida listens for sounds in the area and hears chimes and howling. Frida asks if Chetney heard that. He didn't. Chetney tries to smell the area, but some spores fly into his nose. The party choose to continue to move. The party choose to stick to the outside paths rather than move through the middle of the city. But the question is, do they go left or right? They take a vote, but Fern says that FCG should ask the Changebringer. They cast Commune and ask which path is safer. The path to the right blows clear of the mist a little bit. FCG asks if everyone else saw that. Imogen says that's the first time she's seen a god do anything. Because of this, they go right and FCG leads. They move just off the path to stay hidden. As they move, it gets colder and more. The fog gets thicker, and more ghosts are seen as they move. The ground bursts appear more and more frequently, and the smoke mixes in with the fog a lot easier here, so it's harder to see it. FCG casts Spirit Guardians, and they make them look like tiny Fridas. The idea here is that they're going to protect them from the spirits. With the spirit guardians popping up, all of the ghosts stop moving. Deanna incites the ghost instantly, and they all look toward the party and move closer. Deanna uses her channel divinity, turn undead. As 15 ghosts move toward them, Deanna puts out a burst of light and hits the ghosts, sending most of them back into the mist, with the exception of 5. Roll initiative. FCG rolls a 19, Frida a 16, Deanna a 15, Imogen a 12, Fern a 8, and Chetney a 6. FCG is first. They cast spiritual weapon, and it looks like a tiny FCG to go with the tiny Fridas flying around. It hits the ghost to spawn next to, and the ghost becomes even more ghastly afterwards. Deanna is up. Deanna runs up toward the same ghost that FCG just hit with their spiritual guardians with her halberd. I guess I got the initiative order wrong. Flip Deanna and Frida around. She hits the ghost with her halberd, and then she gets spiritual weapon of her own and hits the same ghost with it. It is still alive. These things are quite hardy. Frida is up. They climb a tree and hold their action until they see the stag. They try to find the stag and roll a natural 20. Even with that, they don't see it. It is in a different part of the city. But they see other wandering spirits as well. They see something else shift in the tallest tower that they were heading toward. The ghosts are up. The one that Deanna attacked reaches out to her, making her make a saving throw. As she does, she succeeds, and a burst of light comes from it, making the ghost flee. She hits it again as it does. She still doesn't kill these things. Very hardy. The rest of the ghosts move into the greater party. One sneaks up behind Frida. The others all run into the spirit guardians. They take damage but continue their attacks. One reaches out toward Chetney, making a saving throw. Chetney fails the roll. The ghosts enter Chetney's body and he becomes possessed. The fight just got really wild really quick. FGG saves and holds their coin out to push the ghost away. Imogen saves as well, closing her mind off to the creature, and a flash of psychic energy comes out, pushing it away. Fern saves against it as well. Imogen is up. She attacks the one in front of her and FCG with Mind Whip. They both fail. Unfortunately, Imogen rolled really low damage, but it forces them to both move away. Fern is next. She summons Mister, and then casts Scorching Ray on the one behind Frida. She hits it all 3 times. Chetney is up. Chetney turns toward FCG and attacks twice, only hitting the first one. FCG looks at Chetney and sees some sort of blue energy coming from him, and questions why he's hitting them. There is no save for Chetney. FCG is up. They can't help Chetney right now. FCG casts Sacred Flame on the ghost near Frida, and then gives Frida a bonded blessing. Deanna is up. She runs up to Chetney and casts Greater Restoration. The ghost is pushed out of Chetney. The spiritual weapon then attacks the ghost that was pushed from Chetney. The ghosts are up again. 4 ghosts are inside the spiritual weapon range, or spiritual guardian range. They all fail. The one that was pushed out of Chetney is destroyed. The last one who wasn't in spiritual guardians moves into the range and is killed by it. The one that can't attack this turn is up and opens up its mouth, and tendrils come out of it, and it makes everyone make wisdom saving throws. Imogen, Frida, and Fern are all frightened. Chetney, Deanna, and FCG all succeed. Imogen is up and casts Dissonant Whispers on 2 ghosts. They move away from FCG and Frida, who both get hit by this. FCG kills one, and Frida damages the other. Frida is up, Fern is up, and Mister fucking shoots something for once and actually hits. Finally, dear God, I feel like that took forever for her, or for Mister to actually hit. Fern then backs up away from the ghost, getting hit by it on the way out. FCG takes half the damage for it. Fern then shoots an ice knife out, hitting it even with disadvantage, killing the ghost. Chetney then ignites Turmoil and attacks the last ghost, killing the ghost. The battle ends, and the other ghosts stay away from the party for now. Frida looks at the tower and sees a wing-like thing grab a tree as he reaches outside the tower. Frida informs the other of the creature, and the party realize the tower they are going towards is not the tower they wanted. This tower is in the center of the city. The tower they wanted, the Gilded Tower, is in the northwest portion of the city. Fern loses pass without a trace during this battle, and the creature begins to fly from the tower. The party take cover in a different tower nearby, and they all get okay rolls. The creature flies overhead. The party try to get a look at it. The wingspan is about 35 to 40 feet. It's very thin and very long, and has leathery skin, and has no head, and there seems to be roots or ribbons on the wings. Imogen asks how it flies without a brain. They are currently inside a tower. The place has been looted, and there is tapestries throughout. It's covered in roots, and the staircase go up. The tapestry has a symbol of a white tree that corkscrews down and up. It's similar to the Uthadorn insignia. They go to the second floor, which has an interior tree growing here, which explains the roots on the bottom. This tree looks like a corpse as well, just like the ones from outside. Frida looks at it and tries to move towards the stairs going up to the next floor. They try to avoid the branches as they go through, and they move toward the stairs, but they are slowly enclosed by the tree branches and are spiked by them a bit. Afterwards, they're able to move past and get to the top level of the tower. They have a good view from here. They see the market of the city and the spikes beginning to push up from the ground. They see the large tower that the creature came from, but they don't see the creature. Frida tells Imogen telepathically to not touch the vegetation, it's alive, and that they don't see the creature outside. Fern suggests talking to the trees. Frida also sees a blue-silver tower near the end of the city. It's leaning and looks like it's been caught by some of the trees as it fell over. Frida says it's half a mile away. Frida thinks it's best for them to stay in the tower and be some sort of overwatch as the rest of the party move. The party aren't sure about this at first, but they accept it and start to move toward the Gilded Tower. Stealth rolls from the travel group. Chetney gets a 38, Deanna gets a 30, FGG gets a 26, Fern gets a 25, and Imogen gets a 17. FGG is leading the journey, but they roll a natural 1. As they travel, FGG slips into one of the cracks in the ground where the black smoke comes from. Con saves all around. Everybody but FGG passes. FGG loses 5 hit points from their max total, which is gross. That sounds so dirty to me. They climb their way out. Chetney asks how FGG is doing mentally. FGG says they're not doing well. Deanna asks if they can help with that. FGG says talking for an hour would help, but they don't really have the time for that. Imogen chooses to lead the next part of the travel and rolls a 21. She finds a safer path for them to travel on. As they travel, FGG feels a communication spell wearing off, so they will lose contact with Frida. FGG informs Frida, but Frida is waiting for them to get about halfway to the tower before they start moving. Frida sees the flying creature come back over and land on the main tower. They see a single purple eye where the head should be, and the creature seems to have gone hunting and has something in its grasp. Frida tries to see the stag from here and sees something that could be the stag back from where they came from. Frida starts to travel to catch up to the rest of the group and gets a natural 1 on stealth. As they move between safe place to safe place, they get about halfway to the others. They climb to a rooftop as they think it'll be safer. There's a bridge to cross there, and as they cross, trying to get to another platform, the bridge crumbles, making a bunch of noise. They, however, take no damage. The rest of the party hear the bridge. At this point, they hear a group of loud howling. Fern telepathically asks if that was Frida. This would be Frida's last chance to talk to them telepathically, but Frida does not give them an answer. Frida starts booking it away from the others. Chetney changes into a werewolf and starts running toward the sound that they heard, presumably toward Frida. Imogen holds a spell for when they know where Frida is. FGG joins Chetney. Imogen stays where she is. Imogen then casts a saving storm. About 300 feet away, a purple storm is created and is very loud. The rest can hear it. Fern and Deanna go towards the tower. Deanna is having some sort of mental breakdown. Imogen rolls deception. As Frida runs, they can hear the sounds of growling and howling behind them. They hear the storm start, and the hounds behind them hear it as well and change direction toward it. Frida starts moving towards the rest of the party quietly. Chetney and FCG hear the storm behind them, and they hear the hounds coming toward them. Chetney grabs FCG and begins to try to hide. FCG casts stone shape to form a wall right in front of them. They hear multiple creatures moving past. Fern and Deanna have reached the tower at this point. The tower has been overgrown by vines and roots and trees. The entrance at the bottom has been blocked, and the majority of the tower is covered in some sort of roots and forest. Fern and Deanna start talking about what they can do to get in. Imogen joins them near the tower and hides in a slightly different spot so they're not all in one place. Frida moves towards the tower, and as they move, they can hear ghosts reach out toward them, but they are too slow to keep up with Frida. FCG and Chetney look for Frida, but they don't see them. They get a good view of the creature that was moving past them. There's about 5 direwolves running toward the storm. Their bodies are all stretched like a snake, and all 5 bodies join to one singular back hind legs of a wolf. It is about 25 feet long. Chetney and FCG don't see Frida. Frida makes it to the tower and sneaks up to the ones waiting at the tower. Imogen tries to cast sending to FCG. She says that Frida made it to the tower. Where are they? FCG informs Chetney, and Chetney picks up FCG and begins to run back toward the tower. The rest see FCG and Chetney. They hear howling as the wolf creature smelt and heard Chetney as they are moving back. The party look for an entrance. There's one way up higher. Imogen starts climbing the roots. Deanna casts Guardian of Faith to block the path and makes it look like Werewolf Chetney. The rest of the party start climbing. Group athletics or acrobatics check. As they climb, Frida begins to fall, and Imogen catches them with telekinesis. The rest climb up the tower without any issue and reach the entrance. They hear the howls, and the party hear the creature climb up towards the Guardian of Faith. The wolves move in, but the Guardian strikes it, dealing 12 damage. It then goes to attack again, but the Guardian deals 20 more damage. The creature's movement is very limited by its body. Deanna realizes that this is likely the Wolf King, and it gets its name from the Rat King, which is nasty. If you don't know what a Rat King is, don't look it up, but also look it up. It's gross. The Guardian of Faith hits once more, causing the Wolf King too much trouble during its climbing. It heads back down and waits for about 5 minutes and then leaves the tower once it gets bored. Fern really thought that Chetney would be the Wolf King. Chetney says they can deal with that later. Deanna isn't happy with making jokes. They almost died. Chetney comforts her. Frida says next time, don't go back for them. They should just go to the objective. Deanna is not happy with this idea, and she gets mad at Frida. Frida says they need to trust their ability to get back. Chetney starts sniffing around the tower. The room they're in is pitch black and no light. Imogen creates some lights for those without dark vision. It's filled with furniture that's been pushed to one side, rocks that have fallen and crushed a lot of the room. The floor is cracked, and there are tons of roots. In this room. It also looks like thick moss and fungus. It smells like mildew and aged rot. There's a staircase going up, but no staircase going down. The whole tower has a lean to it, as it looks like it's been falling over. Chetney smells the old rot and the smell of plant life that has been left to do its thing. The party begin looking around, and they are unsure how structurally sound this tower is. They don't see stairs going down. Imogen rolls a 26 on investigation to see if this place has been looted. It has been heavily looted, as they see body parts throughout the room, not as old as the room, and there are remains of an encampment here. Fern tries to feel lewdness vibes, and she gets a perception check of 30. Dear God. She looks past the roots and see elven paintings and high-class decorations, making her feel like lewdness definitely could have lived here at one point. Frida starts preparing to burn the place down as they feel like after they leave it should be destroyed. Imogen feels like Ludinus's lab, or whatever they're looking for, would be up higher. They start heading up. Chetney leads. As they go up, they see a body with a ring on it with mold-covered leather armor. They see burn marks near the body. They think that they likely died from traps. Chetney looks for the traps and sees a faint glyph on the stone walkway as they go up. Deanna dispels the glyph. FCG looks at the ring. It's nothing special, so they pocket it. They continue going up. They reach the next room. It's leaning even more. There used to be a balcony here, but it's currently surrounded by roots, much like most of the room. They see furniture has slid to the side once again, and there is broken glass all over the place. Frida looks for something hidden. Chetney helps. Frida rolls an 11. Chetney rolls a 21. Chetney sees through the roots a bunch of Elvish writing on notes. Chetney cuts out carefully and then starts giving some to Deanna. The notes look like they've been ripped off the wall with haste before. Or most of them have been, and these are what's left behind. The notes look like questions, dates of Exandria, calendar fragments, notes on shifting magic and celestial events, notes on reoccurring events over time. They read it out loud and Frida records it verbally. There are notes of names of people that might know what's going on. Liren is listed as one of these names. Liren is a character from EXU Exandria, so if you haven't seen that, go watch it. It's pretty good. It's amazing. There are notes about inconsistencies in religious groups, as if someone was preparing a speech for what is wrong with religious rites. There's a lot of notes about the Matron of Ravens, and the notes keep asking for her name, as names are power. Chetney tries to get a dirt chalk rubbing from the wall to see if there's any writing on the wall from the notes that have been ripped off in haste. A investigation check of 24. Chetney rubs dirt along the wall. There is no sign of markings on it or writings for the most part. There is one portion of the wall where the dirt clings to it unnaturally. This part of the wall is different. Chetney tells the rest. They try to figure out what it is. Chetney touches it. Nothing happens. Imogen uses telekinetic shove. Nothing happens. Deanna moves her light staff closer to it and looks. There's an Arcana check. Gets a natural 20 for a total of 19, because -1, because that's hilarious. She touches her light enchantment to it, and it is sucked off her staff. I just realized that's terrible. The spot glows for a second and then stops. The party think that there needs to be more magic pushed into it. Frida is listening to all this and trying to recall things from their old life. History check of 10. They feel like they know something about this place, but it's like a shape underwater. Imogen tells Frida that FCG and her went into the mind of one of their friends and found some things that they don't remember. Maybe they could do that to Frida to help. Frida says this place feels familiar to them. FCG and Fern want to explore what Frida is feeling, but Frida doesn't think they have the time for it. Chetney climbs up toward the top of the room and starts pulling roots away. As he does, he touches something soft, and he pulls his hand away, and there is something crimson on it. As Chetney comes back down, the room starts shifting. Some pinkish red thing comes down into the room. It looks like a mass of muscle and has a few toothy maws on it, and it slams onto the ground. More teeth and mouths begin to emerge from it, and arms and tendrils begin to come off it as well. It begins to take a strange shape, and it wishes to say hello to the new people standing here in the tower, and that's where the episode ends. So there you have it, episode 57. Definitely like another travel filler type episode, but it was still really enjoyable. I like hearing all of Matt's twisted ideas of creatures and environments, and I really enjoyed like hearing a lot of the set dressing. I enjoyed the rat or the wolf king, rat king thing. I'm really interested in these creepy monsters. I'm hoping another like mini set for Critical Role comes out that is just the Malaeus monsters, because these things sound awesome, and I really want to use them on my players, like really badly. But I really enjoyed this episode. Not as much as like other ones, but this one's definitely like a lead up to something really cool, and I'm excited to explore more of this tower next time. So yeah, it was fun. Really enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it didn't sound any worse. Then other episodes, I'm still using the same mic. I just don't know how my laptop is going to handle the recording and stuff. So yeah, peace.